Hi, you guys. So I'm back for another book review, and I just wanted to share with you some of the books that I'm reading on the teen section and in the little children's section. So the first one that I have read for my little kids, and we've checked these out before, and they're really awesome. This one is called Swing, and I don't know if you could see it on camera, but each page, the character moves. You probably can't pick it up. The camera won't pick it up. But it's got one of those, like, it's a black and white background with a picture in between it, and when you move it, the picture is hitting the ball, or it's hitting, or it's playing frisbee or something like that. So these are really cool books. They're really active for little kids, babies, up until about 2. My 5-year-old likes it as well. She's checked it out 3 times. And it's by Rufus Butler Seder, S-E-D-E-R, Seder. I'm probably butchering his name. But he makes these line of books. The next book is called Gallop. And there is another one outside of Gallop, but I don't see it on this book. I don't see the next title. So yeah. So this book I like for little kids, for my baby. He likes looking at it because the picture does this really weird stuff. Up until about 4 or 5 years old. So this next book was in the, not the junior, but like the tween section from the ages of about, I don't know, about 9 until 12. And it is called Wish on a Unicorn by Karen Reese. And it's definitely an older book, meaning let me find out when it was published, because I could tell it was definitely an older book. So I'm thinking about 1994-ish. Yeah, about 1994, it was probably out. It was old. It's been on the shelf for a while. And it's called Wish on a Unicorn, a really, really sweet book. But it takes you back to being in school, and I don't know if you were ever teased in school. I was. Probably most people were, unless they were the really rich, popular kids or whatever. And this young girl is teased. This little girl right here, her mom fosters, and well, she adopted her and her little brother. And this little girl has special needs, and her older sister has to keep watch over her and make sure she's okay. And so it tells you about the struggle of the older girl having to be seen with her sister who has, I'm guessing, probably Down syndrome. But it's very heartwarming to hear the young girl account of her life. And let me just read you part of it. Mags wishes she could live in a nice house with a mama who isn't tired out from work. She'd like a little sister who's normal and a brother who doesn't mooch for food. And once in a while, she'd like some new clothes to wear to school. But Mags knows better than to wish for things she can't have. That her sister Hannah finds a unicorn in Newwoodsville and magical things start to happen. But once in her life, Mags is popular and pretty and it feels just fine. So they are considered poor. They live in a trailer park community. Her sister has Down syndrome. Her brother breaks into people's houses and steals food because he's hungry. The mother works her butt off to take care of her family. I mean, it's really a heartwarming story that tells a tale of perseverance and bullying and overcoming. And they find this unicorn. Let me see if you can see it. They find this dirty, stuffed unicorn in a field, and they remember the mom telling them a story about how unicorns are magical, and they make wishes on it. And so things start happening in their life that they attribute to the unicorn. It's really sweet. So yeah, check that out. It's called Wish on a Unicorn by Karen Reese. So my next book, this is, I told you I would get on here and do spiritual books. This book is called God is With You. That is all you need. And this was at the library, and I was surprised it was at the library. Really beautiful pictures. It was written by Larry Libby, and it was illustrated by Colbert Gothner. I'm probably butchering that too, but I'll put all the descriptions in the bottom. Just going to show you some of the pictures. Look at that. I'm going to read this one. When you feel he is far away, remember God is with you. God is with you, and that sounds nice, but isn't he sitting on a throne somewhere while we live in plain old houses in plain old neighborhoods here on earth? But don't worry. Jesus said, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another friend to help you and to be with you forever. The friend is the Spirit of truth. He lives with you, and he will be in you. And that's from John 14:16 and 17. The friend Jesus promises is the Holy Spirit of God. He is with me, and he is in me forever. That means that somehow God, the Almighty Creator and King of Kings, lives inside of me. He couldn't be much closer, could he? He's as close as my skin. He's as close as my thoughts. He's as close as my next breath. He's as close as the beat of my heart. And when he is with me right now. And that's the picture. So yeah, this is really cute. Each page has a different tale. When everything seems to go wrong, remember God is with you. When you have hurts that won't go away, remember God is with you. When people tell lies about you, when you don't know what's ahead, just beautiful pictures, beautiful. It's a small little story. You just call it a small little Bible story just to way to uplift your kids when they go through their regular everyday problems. It is called God is With You, and that is All You Need by Larry Libby. So our next book I have is for the tweens, or teens. It's called The Spindlers. And it was a new book in my library, and you know how much I love new books. So this story is a sci-fi type of tale. It kind of reminds me of The Littles or The Borrowers. If you've ever read that series, it's a group of tiny little people that live in your home, and they take items that you normally don't pay attention to that's little, and they use it for other things. Well, this doesn't involve tiny little people in your home. This involves an entire underworld type scenario that is underneath this young girl's house. And it's called The Spindlers because these spider-like creatures come into your home and they can suck out your soul. So it's a little dark, but it's not as dark as it sounds. It's a very fun book that tells about the perseverance of this little girl who realizes she's the only one in her family that realizes her brother is different. And she knows his soul is gone by these spindlers. And she searches out trying to find them and finds a hole in her wall in her house. She goes in it with just a broom, and her perseverance and determination to save her little brother is just so raw. It's so beautiful. She goes through a lot, though, being under there. A lot of trouble, she's afraid at times, but she keeps persevering because she wants to save her brother. So it's a really cute sci-fi type book. She runs into talking rats and talking moles, and she sees items from her house that's being sold in the black market. So it's really, I like it. I really like it. It's not in a series, so it's one of a kind. But it was really cute. It was called The Spindlers by Lauren Olivia, or Oliver. And it's new. I liked it. It was good. It's a great sci-fi fantasy type of book for kids. I know you guys have seen me review the other book to this. This is book 2 called Tomorrow Girls. And the first book was called, and this is Tomorrow Girls Run for Cover. The first book was called Behind the Gates. And this is, the world is in war between Canada and America, and there's an alliance going on. These kids were taken from their homes by these schools that said, we'll take your kids into these schools, we'll protect them, we'll teach them, we'll keep them safe from the war. So the parents pay for these children to go to these top-notch schools. Well, little did they know, they were giving their children over to the alliance, so the children are actually in harm's way. The teachers and everyone teaching at the school is against the war. They're actually the one that America is fighting against. So these kids, a couple of the kids, find out and escape. In book 1, it tells you the whole backstory. I did my other book review on that, of how they went to these schools and they end up finding out that something's not right. In book 2, they escape. And while they're escaping, it was about 4 girls, I believe. Gabrielle, is that right? Is Gabrielle down here, guys? So there's about, I want to say 4 girls, And while they're escaping, they come across 3 boys in the woods, so they tell them what's going on, and they escape with them, and now they're trying to make it back to their home. Well, they're being tracked, and they're being followed, and it's so interesting, and they have to make it through a war-torn country to get back to, they're trying to get back to, I believe, Chicago. So, everywhere they go, they have to, lights out have to be at a certain time, there's curfews, so if they're seen on the street without their name tags on their wrists, it's saying who they are, it's trouble. This is a really interesting book. I cannot wait for the next book. So the first one was Behind the Gates, the second one, which this one is Run for Cover. The third one is called With the Enemy. So yeah, I'm going to be putting that on hold. Great book, short, sweet, adventurous, great for your girls. There's nothing inappropriate in here. Great for girls ages from 10 to 15, 16 even. I mean, I read it. I love it. My last book, I also did a review on book 1. It's by Margaret Patterson Haddix. The Missing. This is book 2, and it is called Scent. Book 1 was called Found. So, I love this book. I've been taking it with me to school at night, and I read it whenever my teacher is out of the classroom or we're on break. I'm just reading it because I want to finish it. I want to go on to the next book. I think I have the next book down here somewhere, but I'll review it another time. I haven't read it yet, but I want to show you the cover. I love just the picture on the front to show you where they're going. So what this book entails is these kids were abducted through time. They were pivotal characters in time. They were princes and kings and they were important kids, but they were going to die. So the Time Lords, or the Time guys, who was over keeping time and track, decided we need to rescue these kids. So they took them, put them on a plane, sent them into the future, and they got adopted. However, because they got taken out of time, it ruined time. So now time has a ripple in it. So they have to be taken back. So, one character begins to find notes saying they're coming for you. Time is running out. They're going to take you back. And so then by the end of the first book, he realizes that there's something going on. There's stuff going on in the school. There's stuff going on in the environment that he's adopted. And then his neighbor friend also is adopted. And that kid didn't even know he was adopted. I mean, it's an awesome story. So in this book, they get taken to what their parents think is an adoption seminar on how to deal with kids that are adopted as they're coming of age and blah, blah, blah. Well, what it really was a ruse to get all of those children that was on that plane back in one space to put them back into time and fix the ripple. So, it turns out to be so awesome because one kid, Jonah, decides, what if I can go back? What if I can go back and save my friend? Please let me try. So in the struggle of him trying to get back, he ends up getting this time little machine object and taking himself back into 1483. It is awesome. He finds out his best friend is really important. I don't want to give it away. And so the Time Lords end up giving him a chance to save his friend's life, and it's phenomenal. Margaret Patterson Haddix, she really knows what she's doing. Awesome book. It's called The Missing. This is book 2. It's Scent. The Missing, book 1 is called Found. Check it out. I love it. Can't wait to read the next book in this series. All right, guys. So it's time for me to go to the library and get more books so I could do more reviews. Have a great day.